Discernment. Discernment is a very interesting thing because it's hard, I think, and I have a lot to say about this today. Yesterday, the topic of Daily Fuel was speak your truth, and I realized as I was writing my spiel that, man, I can talk about this all day for a lot of things, and there are a lot of subtopics and everything. So I pretty much have a whole list of like daily fuels for the week on this one topic about speaking your truth. And this one seemed like a good one for the second day because in order to speak your truth, you have to know what your truth is. And I don't know that that's like a one line answer, like this is my truth and that's it. I think that I think your truth can change. I think that your truth can elude you. I think you can be tricked by what your truth is. And I'm going to touch on a lot of these things today, and a couple of them I'm going to dive into even deeper on other days. But just to get us started on this, discernment, if you don't know what the word means, it just means to be the ability to know the difference, to know like this is good for me and this is bad for me. You can discern the truth, you can choose the truth. You can know what it is kind of intuitively. That's what the word means. But there are some things that we think are the truth that are not our truth. By the way, I'm not talking about like objective facts. I'm talking about things that are your core truth, things that are true for you, the best thing for you. What is true for me may not be true for you. What is good for me may not be good for you. It is up to each of us to determine what our own core truth is. But sometimes we don't know what it is what I'm trying to say. And for two big reasons that I came up with. One is that, here we are, grown-ups, trying to figure out what we want to be when we grow up. And we have a lifetime behind us of people telling us what our truth should be. And especially when we're children growing up, we don't have any experience to know better than to think like, oh, that's the truth. And because they said it, parents and teachers and grown-ups and aunts and uncles and, all the people around you when you're a kid, I'm not saying anybody had sinister plans, but, sometimes somebody's truth is kind of messed up and they say it over and over and over again. And then you grow up thinking that's the truth. But it's not, it's not. And then as you're in your grown-up years, adult years, by the way, I got used to saying grown-up because I'm always talking about like Planet Bonehead stuff. And instead of saying adults, we called them grown-ups because that's what kids call them. And so now I still kind of say grown-ups sometimes, even when I'm talking to adults. So deal with it. I call it head trash. When you have things in your head that you think are the truth, but really what they are is just other people's stuff that kind of got implanted in there, and now it's got a home in there. It's called head trash, and it can take a lifetime to take the head trash out because it's hiding, and you don't know what the head trash is compared to what the real truth is, and that's where discernment comes in. You got to kind of look at it, and you got to weigh it, and you got to think about it, and you can toss it and then realize, wait, I think actually now I liked that, and you can bring it back. You're not throwing it in the garbage and it's gone. You can get it back. But that's one thing, and I think that you as you live your life, you're always going to find things that you start to question, like, why do I believe that? Why is that a thing that I do? If you're self-aware, a lot of people are not, which is what we see most people doing. They're just going through life living with their head trash, not really thinking about it. Discernment is a skill that requires practice. This isn't a thing like I can sit down one day and write in a notebook and figure it out. This is my truth and this stuff's not, and it's gone. And now I'm fine. It doesn't work that way. It's a skill. You have to use it and practice it and think about it all the time. And then you got to do it again. And then you got to do it again. And it kind of stinks that that's the way it is, but that's the way it is. And the second kind is what I'm calling your truth light, right? L-I-T-E, like Miller Lite. When it's diluted, when it's kind of, but not really. And we were talking about this a bit yesterday. Yesterday, I was talking, though, about when you know that it's light, when you know that you're kind of diluting yourself because you don't want to rock the boat or annoy other people. But there's also the light version of your truth that you don't even know is light. You think that's it, but now you are, it is diluted, but you're not even aware of the fact that you're diluting it for whatever reason. And this is where discernment comes in. Again, it's a skill. So how do you use discernment? Well, the thing that we're all born with, that innate power that we have, and I'm talking about everybody, not just artists and our really cool, fun superpower, but the thing that every human being has is intuition. We have Stephanie called it the meter, right? That you can kind of look at something and weigh it in your mind and think like, oh, that's bullshit or that's real, We have this meter to the truth. But we're human beings that like comfort, and we have these comfort zones that we've built around our head trash. It's not that it's just head trash and it's bad for us. It's that we've gotten used to it and we're comfortable around it. And I could get into the whole Joe Dispenza science around it, how the chemicals in our brains, we get addicted to them based on the head trash that we have. And when we try to change that, when we try to use our discernment and our intuition to really dive into something and try to figure out, is this right for me or is it not right for me, it can get extremely uncomfortable, especially if you're deciding that something is head trash and you want to get rid of it. Because now you're thinking like, oh, this is perfect. I know that that's wrong for me. I know I'm going to go in this direction now. And you start going in that direction, except now nothing's familiar. You have never done this before. You've always done it that way for 10, 20, 30, 40, how many years, right? But now you're trying something new, and it's really weird, and it's really hard, and you hit what Bob Proctor calls the terror barrier, where now it's like, it's getting so weird that this can't be right. I've made a horrible, horrible mistake, and you go running right back to your head trash, and you give it a big hug and a squeeze and a kiss, and you put it back on the shelf, and you look at it and you go, that feels right to me. It feels like discernment. You think you're making the right choice, but what you did was you used your intuition to realize that it's wrong. You start going in the right direction. The right direction feels unfamiliar, so you run back to the familiar because now you're getting those chemical rushes in your brain that you're used to. And that's why we don't change our life. That's why 10 years goes by and you're stuck in the same place. And you're like, why am I stuck? So discernment takes practice. So you got to do that again, and you got to do it again, and you got to do it again. And the problem with doing these kinds of daily fuels is that I don't have like a magic pill to give you guys every day. Like, hey guys, read this book and it tells you the 5 magic words to say, and poof. It doesn't work that way. This takes work, and it takes a lifetime of work. The good news is that we're here to do this work. So we're already kind of committed to this work. Most people are not. Most people wouldn't join a group like this and watch a live like this and think about this stuff and get in the comments and talk about this stuff. They wouldn't do it. We're doing it. So this is the work. So here's the good news that I do have. I think that when people do that, right, when they go off in that new direction and they hit that terror barrier, I think one of the things that we have working against us as a society is that we feel silly if we turn our tail and run back and say like, oh, I'm going in this new direction, and you plaster it all over Facebook and you tell everybody I'm launching this new thing or whatever, right? Or maybe not Facebook. You tell your friends or your family, or it doesn't matter. But you say it to somebody. And now you're going back. And we feel silly. We feel bad. Like, oh, I'm a failure. I think the message here is that we're allowed to try things and fail. We're allowed to look at things and say, I'm going to give them a shot and see which one is right for me. And I am allowed to change my mind at any time for any reason. And I don't have to explain that to anybody. We need to allow ourselves to do that, because I don't think that discernment is a meter that just goes ding, 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 that's the right thing. I think discernment is the way that we allow ourselves to analyze our lives and figure out what the truth is. And it might take a day or a week or a month or a year or a decade to figure something out so that we can then go on to the next thing. All right, I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to hit the comments. I haven't even said hi to anybody, so let's go. Ray, hello Ray, says hugs. Mikey says, hey Bobby, hey Mikey, how are you? Amy says, hey Bobby, fab day, and all caught up on the group activity. Amy was going through all the lives today. She was commenting on a bunch of them. That was cool. I liked that. I like seeing. I kept getting a notification. Amy commented on your thing, so that was cool. I'm glad that you watched them and enjoyed them, and that. So thanks. Mikey says, as my friend, the late great Jerry Herman once wrote, we need a little Christmas now. Oh yeah, happy Christmas replay people. Yeah. Hey Bobby, no tree up until the day after Thanksgiving, right? You guys are answering my question from before. See, this I know because that was an odd question. Yeah, a no tree up until the day after Thanksgiving. Yeah, usually my rule in the house is no tree until. See, this is gonna be weird because I usually cut off the first thing when it doesn't matter. I'm thinking out loud and I shouldn't be doing that. Sorry. Yeah, my rule is usually, ignore that last sentence. My rule is usually I don't put up the Christmas tree until December 1st. For me, it's got to be December because Thanksgiving and November is my birthday month, first of all. So that's just like the whole month is my birthday. It may as well be. And then Thanksgiving is like my favorite holiday, and because, the food and everything. And then it's practically December right after that. So yeah, but like I said, this year, whatever, no judgment. We need a little Christmas now. Yeah. Mikey says self-awareness is the key. It is. And again, do you guys agree? I just feel like I don't think that self-awareness is a switch that we have in our head. I think that it is a lifetime of endeavor. And I'm going to talk more deeply about that. Another topic that I have, I keep looking at my whiteboard over there. Another topic that I have for this week with Speak Your Truth is right now I just wrote the word evolve because I think that it evolves. And I'm not going to get too deep into that today because I want to do that another day. But yeah, I really think that it can change over time. Let's see. Danielle. Oh, hey, how are you? I came crawling in here. Oh, I hope that, Danielle's not feeling well. So I hope that you're feeling better or better soon. And, but thanks for stopping in. I appreciate that. Failure is a great teacher, says Mikey. Failure is a great teacher. Yeah, it definitely is. Except we don't like to fail, do we? Right? Failure, here's the thing about that, right? If we can fail and be objective about it and be like, that didn't work. What lesson can I learn from that? And apply to the next round so that I don't do that. We do that in like science. Scientists will try a thing and they'll do experiments and they'll have this and all of this and they'll have a control group and this didn't work and that didn't work. And it's like, they can be a bit dispassionate about it because they know the answer is somewhere. And as long as they do it in that structured way, they're going to get the answer, eventually. But we don't do that. We get this idea in our head and we say, oh, my intuition is telling me I have to do this. And then we run out, we do it. And then we're like, oh, this isn't working out the way that I expected. And then we're like, I got to go back to the drawing board. And we feel like idiots. And failure isn't praised. We don't know. When was the last time you went on Facebook and somebody was like, hey, I failed at that thing I was doing, and everyone was like, yeah. Nobody does that. Right? We don't do that. We celebrate successes and we hide our failures. So failure feels lonely. And nobody likes feeling lonely, and so we miss that opportunity to learn from it, at least immediately, maybe eventually, when the loneliness and the fear and all of that, those negative emotions around that failure subside over time, we can look back at it a little bit more objectively and be like, maybe it didn't work because of this, and then we try something different. But who does that immediately? Hardly anybody. I don't know. Failure is a great teacher. My dad's here. Hey, Dad, how are you? Ronnie Oh, hey, Ronnie, how are you? Hey, Bob Alani. See, I don't know what that word is. Hey, Bob, finally got half a day to watch a video. Woot woot, cool. A half day. What? Like you got the day off? Awesome. Good for you. Well, thanks for spending your half a day that you finally got with us. I really appreciate that. That is that's wonderful. My dad says happy birthday month. Thank you. The whole month is my birthday too in April. Yeah, yeah, that's like a big thing for me. It's like it's my. Has anybody ever watched that show with Julia Louis Dreyfus, The New Adventures of Old Christine? And she had a scene like that where somebody needed her to do something, and she's like whining about it. It's like, why are they bothering me? They know I don't like doing that on my birthday month. And I was on the floor because my birthday month has been a thing for forever for me. And so I was like, oh, good, I'm not the only one. Robin is here. Hi, Robin. How are you? She says hi. Hi, Bobby. Amy says, owning failure with a laugh is a way to not feel others or your disappointment, other people's disappointment. Owning failure with a laugh. Yeah, I agree, but failure can sting, you know? And I don't know. It's like I wish that I could laugh at most of my failures, but I think that they can lead to a lot of... I don't know. It depends on what level of failure we're talking about here. You know, if we're talking about something that doesn't mean much in my life, then I don't care. But usually I'm working on things that's like, oh, I'm going to start a Facebook group and create these new TV shows. And guess what? If this stuff fails, I'm going to be really freaking pissed, you know? Except it's not going to, because I'm not going to let it. Why? Because I find that I'm constantly tweaking what I'm doing. You know, I'm not going off in left field on some old, you know, I'm not going to be a professional baseball player now. I'm constantly tweaking the way that I'm doing my TV shows, or why am I running a Facebook group? You know, if you don't know, I ran one 3 years ago, and then I ended it because it wasn't leading me where I wanted to go. And when I started to realize that I kind of wanted to get one going again, wow, I took months before I pulled that trigger, because I was like, I'm not starting another Facebook group just to end it again. If I start a Facebook group, I have to know that it's something that I want to do. And so I was very careful about doing that. Yeah, I wish I could laugh at my failures. I do. I agree with you. It would be great, but I don't know that I can. Robin says, what I do about failure is that I just tell myself, okay, now what's my plan B? And I know I can go through the whole alphabet if I have to. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Heart, my pleasure, says Ronnie. Thank you. And Marcia says, I have had to reinvent my life and leave the past behind. I learned to rely on my intuition now, which usually leads me to where I need to be. The loneliness has taught me to know yourself first before you can help and interact with others. Yeah, that's a lot to break down, but that's really, really good. Reinvent your life. So that I'm interested in what that story is, but we can get into that a different day. Yeah, I don't know that I've had to reinvent my life. Luckily, there are parts of me that you know, I've embarked on things and they're still going. You know, I've been married to Laura for 23 years and we have 2 awesome kids, and I feel like there are certain things that I got right out of the gate, you know? And then when it comes to business, it's like I know I'm in the ballpark and I'm trying to figure out where the goal is, you know? And because that part is for me has always been where the most head trash was. Where I don't know how to say this. Like when it came to getting married and having kids, I didn't have a lot of head trash about it. I just kind of went with it. And when it came to business, I had a lot of head trash about it, and it has been constant taking out the trash day for me. The only problem is that sometimes I find more trash that I didn't even know was there, because when things would get uncomfortable, I'd run back to the comfort zone and just make people's websites because I can get a paycheck from this and everything's good and I'm a success, except then I realize I don't like doing this. So it's been a tightrope for me, and that's why I say, like, you're watching me figure it out in real time here. I don't have all the answers. I'm figuring things out, and I'm going, hey, this is what I figured out today. And then you guys figure stuff out and tell me, and I go, that's amazing. And then I say it the next day. And so that's how this works. Danielle says, thank you. We uplift others more than we uplift ourselves. That's true, isn't it? I mean, if you guys said something to me in the group, like Ange said, like, I don't have an imagination. I can just, I can use a paintbrush pretty good, but I can't imagine what to paint. So I just paint like portraits or pictures, from photographs. So am I really an artist? And as soon as I was like, what are you talking about? Of course you're an artist, but it all, not to make fun of her, but it almost seemed like a ridiculous question. Like, why would you even think you're not an artist just because you can't do things that other artists can do? I can't sculpt. Does that mean I'm not an artist? I'm a singer. I can sing rock music, but I don't know that I'd get up on stage and do opera. Does that mean I'm not an artist? Of course not. And nobody would think that, except I might think about myself. Oh, I stink at this, Yeah, we really uplift others more than we uplift ourselves. Let's not do that anymore. Marcia says, failure makes you stronger and more persistent to get it right. I agree with that. I agree with that because if it didn't, I wouldn't have started this group. And David's here. What's up, pal? How you doing? In mental health support groups I'm in, some people express their failures to deal with issues, and many people offer support, but the people having trouble find it difficult to take the support because they are so low. Yeah, I'm not a mental health expert, but I do know that there are times where I need to work through things myself. Nobody can say anything to me because I need to just figure it out myself. And when you're that low, when a failure hits that you're just like, where it's just devastating, Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't really know how to add to that, so I'm not gonna try. Amy says, is failure the change we need to make? Is failure the change we need to make? Wow, that's a really interesting question. So here's how I'm taking that question: that we are trying something and we haven't gotten to the core truth yet because either we're using our truth light or we're using our head trash truth that we got from other people. So that's not going to work for us. So it fails, right? And if we were able to be objective about it, if we were able to look at it a little bit less, oh my God, right? Then maybe we could, that's what I do. Then maybe we could see you didn't fail. You turned left at Albuquerque, right? Like Bugs Bunny. Oh, I like this. Hang on. I wish you said this before the live. I would have figured this out a little bit better. Okay, is failure the change we need to make? So we see the failure, except we see it as, I am a failure. We internalize it and go, I stink, I'm terrible, I'm this, I'm that. But really what it is the universe going, oh, hey, you're like 95% there. Just do that, right? And if we could look at it that way. So yes, failure is the change we need to make. You know what? I need to think about that, and that'll be a whole another daily fuel. All right, thank you, Amy. Boy, you're just throwing the lines at me this week. You are on fire. Thank you. Jason's here. What's up, pal? How you doing, man? Stealing a page from Disney's Meet the Robinsons movie. From failure, you learn. From success, not so much. Same thing, right? From success, if things go, what's even interesting about that is when things kind of go pretty good, right? It might be just comfortable enough that you don't try to make it better. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, you know what? I'm gonna play with those and for a different day. Ronnie says, I don't know what that means. Mikey says, I put the word failure in quotes because it's an illusion. Yeah, I don't know what you said, though, before I had to scroll all the way back. Okay, but yes, I know what you mean. Failure, there is no failure, and there is no deadline, and there is no any of that. You know, it's we internalize it. My dad says, if you have a birthday month, do I have to give you a gift every day? Yes. Ronnie says, I'm reinventing my life as we speak by the seat of my pants. Welcome to the club. Scariest thing ever. So I am basically faking it as I make it. I am overwhelmed with the changes. Moving this weekend for the 5th time, I guess this year. Victim of circumstances, abusive relationships, toxic people, all while trying to take care of me and my 2 kitties. Going to beauty school full-time, working part-time. I don't feel like I have a friend around, but I'm still showing up. I don't know how, but I am, and I do it with a smile. Good for you. Really, good for you. We all have that story, I think. You know, I moved 5 times too, 3 or 4 times in 1 year, many, many years ago, and all of it is hard. All of it is terrifying. You can do it. That's all I'm going to say about that. You know, you definitely can do it. You know why I know? Because you're here trying to figure out how to do it. And if here doesn't help you, then go read a book. Go join a different group. Keep finding the places and the people around and put them around you that will support you. That's why I say this group is a safe space to put up your stuff. But it's also, is it not a safe space to say, I'm having a hard time with this. What do you guys think? Or I need help with that. What do you guys know about this? Feel free, Ronnie, or all of you, to, if you're having a really hard time with something, post it in the group and reach out, because I've seen about a dozen or so, half a dozen to a dozen people do that in the month and a half we've been here. And everybody in the group lines up to help. So it's a really amazing group of people in here. Marcia says, sometimes the universe lets us fail because there are better things in store for us. Yeah, I believe that too. I think that that's I think that fits right in with what we were saying, though, right? That we're moving towards something. I have this idea. I relate it to business a lot because that's where I see it the most in myself. But if it's not business for you, then just, you know, understand that this works for everything. And, you know, if I'm trying something in my business and I feel like it's not happening, then it's easy to say, well, the universe has something better in store for me. But I think that an even deeper way to say it is what we said before, that I just haven't figured out the truth yet. And the failure, or the reason that this isn't working, is actually indicating to me what the truth is. But I'm so busy feeling sorry for myself that I'm not seeing that. Ray. Wait, hang on. Am I up to Ray? Yes, Ray. Hi, Ray. Did I say hi to you? It doesn't matter. Hi. It's so nice to watch you think. Makes the rest of us realize that we can think too. And that it doesn't hurt. Well, not for long, as we remember to breathe. It hurts a little bit. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, you know, and I think that that's why I'm making the TV shows that I'm making, because I really want to get people to think. That's kind of interesting. It's like it's been coming together for me that way, but I think that that's what I'm trying to do, is just get people to think. I'm going to leave that there. Hugs, my furry little friend. Hold your heart. Thank you. Thanks. Amy says, done a similar thing, Ronnie. If you want to chat about it, message me anytime. Okay, so good. And my dad says, Mom used to say that when I accomplished something, I didn't stop and enjoy it. I just started on something else. Yeah, so I get it from you. Thanks. Yeah, that's a thing, right? I think a lot of us do that, and I don't know. Is that it? That's the last comment? Well, oh no, right. Okay, Robert, you have no idea. So Ray swooped in and stole your booby prize there, Dad. But if that's it, guys, then I am going to take off, and I will see you tomorrow. We'll talk about Speak Your Truth a little bit more this week, and that's it. All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you spending time with me every day. It makes my day, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one. I should move the mouse over and then say goodbye. This way I'm not standing here still, looking at my computer after I do it. Okay, bye.